So welcome to a brand new webisode. It's a Sunday morning, and been a while since I've recorded a webisode. I really don't have any excuse as to why. I guess I haven't felt inspired until today. So I get up this morning, and as I normally do, I go to my email. Usually Sunday mornings before church, I'll go on and try to get as much work done as I can, grab the news stories of the day for Monday's show. Especially since after church I want to be ready to watch the race, as you can tell from my Dale Jr. shirt. So I get my John Justice Google alert, and oh goody, somebody has written an article with my name in it again. Although it's not really an article, it's a blog, and it's by the same idiot who likes to invoke my name when he tries to create controversy. Well, let me just get to the gist of this here. So I'm looking at it here. I'm on TucsonCitizen.com, where blogs go to die. And my good friend, Three Centaurians, has written once again, Racism in TUSD. Cesar Chavez banned while John Justice welcomed. And then as you scroll down, and I won't show you, it shows a picture of a Klan member, just the pointy head with the eyes. White pointy hat. It says, racism. Big red bold letters. Racism. And underneath it says, if it were only this easy to spot. He starts off with, I decided to start a new series that I will call Racism in TUSD. I have enough to keep me going for months. Okay, so he prattles on about what he perceives as racism going on in terms of TUSD, in terms of the Raza Studies program. And so I'm waiting in the story to find out when I'm going to be mentioned, since I'm in the headline. John Justice welcomed, while, Cesar Chavez banned. And so you get down to the bottom, and oh, look, here we go. It's a picture once again, and I'll flip this around for just a moment so that you can see. You see that there? It's the infamous sombrero hat picture. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, I'll give you a bit of the background on here, but let me tell you what it says here. It says, now look at the mighty Abel Morado when it comes to a clear and obvious political forum. The Young Republicans host a debate at Sabino High School. The panelists include with panelists that include John Justice, all in the same month of March. Clearly, a right-wing Republican forum is okay because it was at Sabino High School, a mostly white school. John Justice as a panelist, no problemo. No conflict in political forums on high schools to be found here, boss. Let's see, Sabino High School is indeed a high school, and the superintendent of the high school is Abel Morales. Let's see, Abel Morado says A-OK to a Republican political forum with John Justice. Okay, so, and then it wraps up with got racism. Now, if you're wondering where the racism part is, it's not there, except for one thing. Now, with that, let's go back in time. In 2008, late 2008, might have been early 2009, a listener, good friend of the show, still listens today, gave the show 2 sombreros, because we do our immigration updates. Now, unless I've missed something, there isn't anything inherently wrong with sombreros. Okay? So, we did a webisode back at our old studio, showing off our studio, giving everybody a tour. At some point in the video, I put on the sombrero, and I pointed to it. I said we wear the sombreros during our immigration update, and the reality is I don't think we ever did, not that it even matters, okay? Somebody, now it wasn't this blogger, but somebody went and grabbed a screenshot back then of me in the sombrero. And ever since then, I've been labeled a racist because of it. Because of that one picture that somebody grabbed of a screenshot. It was a different blogger who subsequently has fallen by the wayside. Now, Three Centaurians has used this picture quite often. And here's a clear example where he's talking about racism in TUSD. Obviously has a problem with me, but yet in the story there's not a single line about any racist act or comment that I've ever done. As a matter of fact, he's never given me an example. Nobody ever has of anything racist I've ever done. Just because I've been against the Raza Studies doesn't necessarily, well, it doesn't make you a racist. Just because I do an immigration update and I happen to use the music that I use doesn't make me a racist. But as Hitler said, you tell the lie enough, people begin to believe it. So, detractors of mine ever since then have said, oh, he's a racist. Well, why? We don't know. He says that we should crack down on illegal aliens. Well, it's the law. He says he doesn't like the Raza Studies. Yeah, a lot of people do. By the way, getting back to TUSD for a second, what's the more likely scenario? That all of the individuals, Democrats and Republicans, who, when they actually saw the curriculum inside TUSD, felt that it was inappropriate to be teaching that and to pay for that teaching through taxpayer funds, that they are all now racist, or were racist to begin with, or that they all saw a problem. What's more likely? That everybody up the chain that was involved in banning the Raza Studies was a racist? Or that as more people got exposed to the program and what was wrong with it, they realized this is inappropriate to be taught in our public schools? You know, the argument usually rests in the initial bill that bans that particular type of speech inside of the Raza Studies program. And people will usually point to that and Tom Horn and say that was racist and everything else. But the problem is that, again, it went through the process. Through multiple layers of people inside Tucson and outside Tucson that resulted in the ending of the Mexican-American Studies program. It's a good thing none of those other individuals ever put a sombrero on their head and pointed to it, actually. I do want to share with you an email, though, because I posted this up on my Facebook. I don't talk about this on the show. I don't want to give this lunatic any press, so I don't mind doing it via Webisode, because not very many people watch the Webisodes. But a friend of mine emailed and said, saw your Facebook post and the fact that you were so very clearly concerned about the writings of Three Centaurians. Because Three Centaurians is so much smarter than the rest of us, it's sometimes hard for mere mortals to decipher his genius. Alright, so he has written here, interpreting Three Centaurians, and some examples of how to interpret Three Centaurians. Example, here's a headline. The sun rose this morning, as I do that thing with my fingers. Here's the Three Centaurians' truth. It is a conspiracy to make Latinos sweat in the fields, or everyone knows the Aztecs invented the sun. You see what he did there? Mm-hmm. Example, a dog bit me. Dog bit me, regular headline. Three Centaurians' truth. Racist government officials use vicious police dogs to attack civil rights marchers in the South using the same DNA Mark Stegeman has been breeding and training vicious dogs and turning them loose in Latino neighborhoods. Or, everyone knows the Aztecs were the first culture to domesticate dogs. Here's another one. Today, my physics teacher gave a lesson on gravity. Three Centaurians. Gravity was invented to keep Latinos down. Or, everyone knows the Aztecs invented gravity to prevent humans from flying off Earth into the cold reaches of space. Now he gives the final one, going right back to the one he wrote this morning. John Justice wore a sombrero. Three Centaurians' truth. Therefore, he must be a racist. Yeah. Going back to the article again. Racism into USD. Cesar Chavez banned while John Justice welcomed. I do appreciate the free press, even though it is Tucson Citizen. I think like 12 people, maybe max, read his blog. I've always said this. At the end of the day, people can call me whatever they want to call me. I don't really care. If you've got a problem with me, and I think this pretty much bodes for any talk show host, but if you have a problem with me about something I've said, then you tell me what that problem is. If you're going to call me a name like a racist, then please be ready to step up and give me an example of overt racism. You know, not combining of two things, a sombrero and the fact that I do an immigration update and say, oh, he must be racist. Quick side note on this. It's fascinating to me because right around the same time as when the Derechos Humanos co-chair, Pima County legal defender Isabel Garcia, and the infamous Joe Arpaio coming to town, and the piñata effigy of Joe Arpaio in a police uniform being beat in front of the bookstore when he came to town. That resulted in me with a piñata with Isabel Garcia's face on it and me doing a parody mocking of her voice, and that sparked all kinds of charges of racism from individuals. It's funny to me that after all these years, the sombrero picture keeps popping up as a picture of racism, but the Isabel Garcia one doesn't. It's because most people understood, people that have half a brain, what that whole circumstance was about, and how kids were beating up the likeness of law enforcement in public, and how I took a similar route but gave it a hug of Isabel Garcia and a goofy voice as an example of how people freak out on one side and the other. It's the whole hypocrisy issue. They always focus on that stupid sombrero picture, but they never bring about the other one anymore. I just find that amusing. It's because most people understand the hypocrisy and all of that. The bottom line is, with Three Centaurians, he only throws my name up in his blog because he hopes that more people read it and he gets attention. And yeah, I gave him attention this morning, but it was worth it to point out how stupid it was. And again, hardly anybody watches these videos, so I'm not that concerned about giving him more press than he deserves. So, thanks for watching. And again, hey, thanks everybody who came out to... who got involved in the Hour of Power last night. Had a great time with James T. Harris on the air, and it was a fantastic event. Now we're just getting ready for the big anniversary party coming up on May 12th. All the details at the website at 1041thetruth.com. Thanks for watching. Go Junior. Have a great, whatever day you're watching this, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.